Shalom, my hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the broadcast today. We are so pleased that you have joined us. Beloved, as you come in, please come in giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. You can text the word Queens to 31996. Let me post this really quick so that we're able to receive phone notifications, so that you are able to receive phone notifications when you receive a notification from the network. Are you all hearing me today? So please come on in, come on in, come on in. I want you to give us a big thumbs up and share this most important broadcast today. We have a very, I think, interesting topic. And I'm looking forward to discussing what some might consider to be the complexities of Dave Chappelle's recent comedy special on Netflix called The Closer. The Closer, excuse me. Now, Dave Chappelle is no stranger to controversy. And so, thankfully, there are some things that Dave Chappelle stands by, even under extraordinary attacks and backlash. Now, obviously, I don't agree with everything that Dave Chappelle does. And I'm not talking about just his comedy stuff, but I'm talking about maybe political stuff and certain social things. But there's certainly quite a bit that I absolutely do agree on. Now, I don't know how many of you all heard this or not, but he recently made the news concerning him calling out certain things going on within the LGBTQ community, as opposed to how, when you compare, what I'm saying, when you compare certain things that are being said and done to Black people. That's where I want to go with this. So give me just a second, family. Have a little bit of a tech malfunction here, but we're going to make it do what it do. And while I'm doing that, family, I want you to give us a big thumbs up, share this broadcast. Again, for those of you that haven't, let's hit that thumbs up button and share. At the bottom of your screen, there should be a share button. You can copy that link and you can send it out to other people. Somebody talk Black to me. I appreciate you doing that so very much. On the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, let's share, hit the thumbs up button, and also be sure to subscribe. Are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let everybody know that your sister with the curly braids is on live on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. And we are welcoming and inviting you in now. Now, family, let me tell you something. You all know that we as a people are the most loving, the most respectful, the kindest people on the planet. Somebody talk black to me. Now, you might wonder why it is I say that often. The reason I say that often, beloved, is because, unfortunately, we who built this country, we who are the true mothers and founding fathers of this nation, we have been lied on. Our open enemy, a part of the warfare of our open enemy, is lying about history, rewriting history, right? Which is why they work overtime to control the narrative, to control the history books. Are you hearing me? So what we understand is that because of that reality, because we deal with all of those such things, what we know is they have a way of flipping the script. They have a way sorry about that. They have a way of demonizing we who are the true mothers and fathers, the true founding mothers and the true founding fathers of this country. They have told you that they're sodomists, they're rapists, they're pedophiles, they're slaveholders. Somebody talk black to me. They're criminals. All of those individuals, all of those descriptors and adjectives that I just used, this describes the individuals who they credit for founding this country. Now, with that being said, beloved family, we also have to be aware that after nearly 500 years of nonstop oppression, are y'all hearing me? After 500 years of nonstop oppression, watch this, for which we have not been repaired, made whole, received reparations, and our open enemies are still instituting a more evolved form of white supremacy, lying to us, making us think that we've actually overcome something, and they've put their bones and biscuits on the front line to convince us to be happy and satisfied, watch this, with a little tired and tawdry biscuits and crumbs. They ain't even a biscuit. It's a whiff of a biscuit. How many of you all know what I mean when I say a whiff of a biscuit? What's a whiff of a biscuit? What's a whiff of a biscuit, family? Somebody talk black to me. I'm not even saying crumbs in some instances. A whiff of a biscuit means it's just the smell of the biscuit. Talk black to me. You don't even get to taste it. Your sensory organ, which is your nose, just gets to know it exists. God today. Did y'all hear what I just said? They playing with you so hard that they're not giving you, some of you, you're not even getting the biscuit Some of our people aren't getting the crumbs. Some of them are just getting the whiff of the biscuit. You just get to be within proximity to know that it somehow, somewhere exists for you. Now, let me see if I can let my Instagram family know really quick that we're live and direct. Give me just a second, family. Shout out to my Instagram family. Instagram, this is your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard. I want you to know that we are live and direct on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. And so we want to invite you to come on over now to Fly Nubian Queen, to my Instagram family. Come on over to FlyNubianQueen.com. Now watch this, FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Instagram. Now, family. Now, this is important. I remind you often of the fact that those of us who were the true Native Americans, as you would call them, or natives, and some would call them Indians, the original were black-skinned natives. And for those of us who have actually had ancestors that came from the continent of Africa, it was still black melanated people, natives, and foundationals who built this country. We did what the white supremacists could not. That's why they stole us, our labor, and our intellectual property to bring into existence what they could not do on their own. I remind you of what was done because I'm building a legal case for reparations. We don't want to forget what was done. Don't go out here talking about you don't want to see no more slave movies. Yes, you do. You hear the Jews talk about their plight all the time, and their plight's been over with. Their plight didn't last as long as I was dead. Are y'all hearing me today? We experienced the worst human treatment anybody ever experienced. Watch this, for longer than anybody else. Nobody can say 500 years. And they got reparations. They got all kinds of acknowledgments and a whole bunch of other stuff. There are other people on the planet that have experienced different things, but it pales in comparison to ours. Now, I know some people want you to believe that it doesn't do any good to talk about how much worse our condition was compared to other people. Yes, it does. That's what separates us from everybody else. And what separates us from everybody else also means we're due what nobody else ought to have or get. That's why when we hearing these funny looking Republicans and Democrats sitting up here talking about they feel sorry for these white Afghans, I'm not saying what was done to them was right, but some of them was willing to sell out their own country for whatever reason they choose to do it. And we sitting up here talking about giving them millions and millions and millions and millions and billions, excuse me, with the B, billions of dollars. Foreigners, people who are not citizens, are getting benefits that we can't. Joe Biden is giving legal protections to illegal immigrants. I say this often. How is it that people who are not even citizens of this country manages to get legal protections when the people who are the founding fathers and mothers of this country, black men and a black woman, can't even get voting rights passed? Talk black to me. They can't even agree to pass proper lynching. And Lord knows you ain't been cutting a check for reparations. This is the reason it's important that we have this conversation. Yes, we talk about black empowerment, building your own businesses, working together. We do that with one hand. But with the other hand, you still have that righteous demand of reparations. It is a universal law. It's about balance and order. You don't get to screw up people over for 500 years and then just wipe your hands up like nothing didn't happen. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? Talk black to me. Thumbs up, family. Now watch this. With this notion of Dave Chappelle did this piece with Netflix recently. And Dave Chappelle has a reputation of really doing jokes concerning folk in the LGBTQ community. Now, here's the thing with Dave. His latest Netflix piece, shout out to my brother Red Pill, who made this point on my page today. He said, Vicki, he didn't use my name. He said on my page, though, he said the entire special that Dave did was about showing, and I'm paraphrasing his words, really some of the hypocritical things that happens within the LGBTQ community. But he said they only emphasize the part that he said about the baby. Talk black to me, family. But I think that's an interesting point. But I also want to make this point. The reason I just outlined for you and reminded you the hell that black folks have gone through and are going through with the newest people on our planet, whose time is up according to Revelation 12:12, which is why the scripture says the Bible styles them with the name, the devil or the opposer knows their time is short. So the scripture says in Revelation, that's why they come to the earth to make havoc. Now, I know that your religious teachers who teach you eschatology or things related to end times have you believing that the devil is some invisible, inanimate object underground. They don't want you to identify that there's a devil on this planet or an opposer who knows their time is short. And so it says they're making havoc on the earth. Talk black to me. We know Joe Biden is concerned about this because that's the reason why Joe Biden told the so-called legacy, useless civil rights leader that include the Reverend Al Sharpton, certain members of the NAACP, Urban League, and others, that America is partly doomed because of black people. He said not just because of black people, which means it includes black people, but also because America is getting ready to be minority European. That's what Joe Biden said a few months ago. The other thing that just came out, y'all know that they made a big deal about the census, right? You all know what the census just mentioned a few minutes, not too long ago, right? When the census numbers came out not a few days back, what did it show? It shows that the Caucasian folk in America numbers are quickly dwindling. The last census confirmed what we already knew and what their statisticians and demographers already predicted. But before they predicted it, we predicted it. Because it was written. Somebody talk black to me. On the count of three, family, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. I thank you, Indianapolis, for screaming for me. I see you, Miss Nancy. They're trying to fix that black screen, family, so folks may not know that we're here. So please hit that thumbs up button. You all know I always say at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. But you can assist us by actively sharing this broadcast, giving us the thumbs up because that affects the algorithms and it makes it more likely that other folk will know that we're here. Thank you, beloved Jackson, that says First Lady, Queen of Black Media. Talk black to me. Thank you so much. Now watch this. I bring up these atrocities and the long centuries that we've experienced them. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Share, share, share. I bring this up and I remind you of what we're dealing with right now because we have not been made whole and America has not ceased nor desist from oppressing us. We ain't overcome nothing. Don't be around me. We shall get away from me. I don't want to hear nothing about when we were successful and got voting rights and civil rights and all that, when the Supreme Court has gutted the most central parts to some of that legislation. And when they're finding other technology to make it functionally impossible for us to be full citizens and participants in this nation. Talk black to me. Now watch this. Why do you bring up chattel slavery, Vicky? Why do you bring up the black codes where it was legalized and it was a part of the culture federally, statewide, locally, and otherwise that black folks were legally discriminated against? Why do you bring up convict leasing? Why do you bring up the injustices of sharecropping? Why do you bring up Jim Crow? Why do you bring up new Jim Crow? Why do you bring up the industrial complex? Why do you bring up the fact that we have not received any form of reparations, even though America has given Asians, Japanese reparations? They gave the Asians this past year tens of millions of dollars in legal protections. Why do you bring up the fact that they gave white Jews, they pushed and supported even America reparations for Jews, even though what happened to them was over there in Germany and stuff? And we disagree with what happened to those individual groups and others. How is it that most importantly, white people got reparations? Little dusty Europeans from all over the world were given free land, large plots of land. Talk black to me. They were incentivized to come to America, the America that we were building. They wanted to make sure there wasn't a blackout. So they let little dusty Europeans come over here and give them large plots of land. And to the ones that didn't know how to work the land, which was quite a large number of them, the government subsidized them. Somebody talk about that they are the original welfare queens. Y'all are the welfare queens. These tax subsidies and stuff, these grants, and all of these different things that they were able to level up for the past several centuries, you are the one true welfare queen. You got reparations. And then you turn around and call black people lazy. White people start calling black people lazy when we said we tired of slavery. That's when the lazy came in at. You haven't lifted a finger to do nothing. You didn't even have the wherewithal to do it, slowness. Talk black to me. Exactly, the Homestead Act and so many others. We know that they used all manner of government levers to get all kinds of tax credits and benefits and all these kinds of things, while they turn around and give you the middle finger. Why do I bring this up? I bring this up because black people are the only group that you should be worried about offending. But yet we'll sit here and tiptoe for telling the truth about all of these other little groups. But you guys make it totally acceptable for the media, movies, music to talk about killing us, murdering us, selling dope to us, giving drugs, and the most detrimental things to our people. But we sitting over here worrying about offending somebody else. You better go sit your funny looking self down. This was technology. They flipped the script and got us worried about offending these other groups. And they turned around and demonized black folk for calling out their hypocritical stance. That's why I bring that up. The people you should be concerned about offending more than anybody else is us. Now let's talk about the LGBTQ community, members of the LGBTQ community, who have been some of the most notorious oppressors of black people. I've said this for years. One of the most notorious LGBTQ community member on behalf of the United States that imposed some of the worst open legal oppression against us was who? He ran the FBI. Hint, hint, hint. He was round and fuzzy. Hint, hint. He used to cross-dress. I'm giving you all these hints. Somebody put his name in the chat. One of the most notorious LGBTQ community members. You got it. J. Edgar Hoover. Now we're able to prove that the United States government destroyed black people and black organizations. That in and of itself also is a grounds for reparations for black folks, in addition to chattel slavery and black codes and the injustices of convict leasing and other such things. Talk black to me. Other notorious LGBTQ community members in recent times, who's known as a Democratic donor, I'm going to give you a hint. Last name starts with a B and matches a black documentary called Buck Breaking. I just gave you the biggest hint in the world. You got it, Ed Buck. Ed Buck, every time he went in his house, seemed like a black man come up dead. And he was allowed to get away with this for the longest time until he was recently charged in such cases. Ed Buck. He was a notorious Democratic donor. Talk black to me. But I also want to spend a little bit of time talking about another notorious LGBTQ community member who, according to black scholars, who, according to certain black schools of thought, allegedly, somebody put the word allegedly in the chat. Somebody say, now Vicky is a responsible broadcaster. Vicky is a responsible commentator. One of the most notorious LGBTQ community member. I'm talking about people that have done slimy and criminal things allegedly to black people. Somebody just said Edgar Hoover. Yeah, that was earlier, but I'm talking about somebody in recent history who's still alive and well. Watch this. Who some black scholars allege. Y'all see y'all putting the word allegedly in there. How many of y'all heard of the name of David Geffen? How many of y'all heard of the name of David Geffen? If you've watched the Vicky show, you all know I've gone very deep into him and his connection to our brother Michael Jackson. And I gave you all the receipts. I see y'all waving your hand naturally, Tura, Isadora, and others. Where I broke down for you. He's the owner of DreamWorks. He's a billionaire. Remember Oprah was sitting her funny looking self on somebody's yacht for her birthday? Remember he posted Instagram pictures of him and okra and kale. Somebody say eat your vegetables. Somebody say eat your vegetables. In black society, Oprah and Gail are affectionately known amongst black grassroots as okra and kale. They were sitting there funny looking self on his multi-million-dollar yacht. Y'all remember that? Somebody said buffering. Am I buffering? Moderators, I need to know if I'm buffering on YouTube. Moderators, let me know if I'm buffering. Okra and kale sat their funny looking selves. No, they said. Okay, so whoever said I'm buffering, check your device. Now, if you don't check your device and y'all keep saying it, we're going to assume you're a troll, and our moderators will engage in this thing that's called a block party. God dang. Now, you all know I believe in the trolls stand in the chat when they say other crazy stuff because I treat you all like modern day demons. But if you're going to be disruptive and put that mess in there, that they will engage in a powerful, powerful party. Block party. Now, let me get on with the get on. David Geffen, a lot of folks are not familiar with David Geffen. Y'all hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. So David Geffen what some folks don't know is that Oprah was on his yacht multiple times. And this was a good buddy of hers. And we understand that one of the ways she celebrated her birthday, Epic, Eric, stop saying buffering. They said I'm not buffering. Check your device, baby. Okay, let's get Epic Eric out of here. Moderators, get on it, please. Or maybe I have to do it. I don't even know if I can or not. Watch this. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Thumbs up, share, share, share. So, David Geffen, a lot of folks are not familiar with. But David Geffen, thank you. David Geffen, we had the heads up about David Geffen. But I'm getting ready to show you a connection. Thank you, mods. I'm getting ready to show you a connection between David Geffen, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Barack Hussein Obama, and what some intelligence scholars are saying that they believe that there is evidence to connect him to the actual murder of our brother, allegedly. Some allege that there is evidence that this LBGT mafia head, as he was known as, allegedly, they believe there's enough evidence to suggest that he may have been involved in the murder of our brother Michael Jackson. Y'all know I don't do conspiracy theory. Y'all know I don't do nothing without backing it up. Because your sister have a gavel doesn't mean I'm an idiot. That's why you miss my power. Slowness. You can't pick up my vibration because you mix up my manner of being. And I've got results with what I do, baby. Now let's get into it. Instagram. I'll see you on Fly Nubian Queen. Come on over, FlyNubianQueenTV.com, Instagram. By the way, family, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard, family. Follow me on Twitter. At Dillard Vicky, my last name first. Thank you so very much. Okay, let me try to do this again. Thank you all for sharing. Giving your sister a minute to try to get this up here. All right, family, let's get on into it. Let's get on into it. All right. Now, this whole idea of David Geffen, a prominent member of the LGBTQ community, shout out first to Dr. Wesley Muhammad some time back. This has been a long time ago when I first brought this to you guys. Those of you that have been following me, you all know that I was exposed to this for some time. But I was able to have certain, connect certain dots because of some of the information that I learned from my brother. Now, one of the things, let me give you the basic information about this Dave Chappelle Thank you. So you all know what happened. Dave Chappelle addresses the baby's, it says, homophobic comments, as well as the industry-wide response to the Blame It On Baby artist's harmful remarks in his Netflix special. Now, people keep saying his harmful remarks. I'm not even sure what that means, his harmful remarks. Talk black to me. Watch this. I came here tonight because this body of work that I've done on Netflix, I'm going to complete. He said, all the questions you might have had about all these jokes I've said in the last few years, I hope to answer tonight. And I'd like to start by addressing the LGBTQ community directly. I want every member of that community to know that I come here tonight in peace, and I hope to negotiate the release of the baby. That's what he said. Now, y'all know Dave ain't got no sense. Y'all talk black to me. So, family, keep in mind, this is within the context of him as a comedian. Somebody say, as a comedian, talk black to me. Now, he goes on. He says, I go hard in the paint, but even I saw that S was like, GD, the baby. He pushed the button, didn't he? He pushed the button, punched the LGBTQ community right in the AIDS. That's what he said. That's David's words, not ours. I'm not quoting myself. This is his words from his Netflix special. And of course, nobody here is trying to offend. I'm quoting Complex News right now. Talk black to me. Now I'm going to skip on down here. This is the part that I think was very interesting, and that's getting a lot of play right now. He says this: in our country, you can shoot and kill an N-word, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings. We show our respect even to our own brothers and sisters who identify with that community. This is not about who you say you are or how you choose to identify. I'm exposing, watch this, where my intelligent black people at. I hope y'all are hitting that thumbs up button. Share, family. Hit that thumbs up button. Share on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Y'all love to send me other people who you think are powerful and celebrities and famous. My question is, do you send them your sister stuff? Put this link out. Share. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Tell them your sister with the curly braids is on live and direct. Now watch this. It says, in our country, this is what Dave said, you can shoot and kill an N, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings. Now, why was he saying that? He's saying that because the baby was involved in the actual murder of a person in Walmart. I won't get into all the details of that, or the cousin of the slain that came out recently expressing some feelings about that particular situation. The long and short of it is, he got off on the situation, but he was actually involved in a murder. Dave Chappelle was bringing out America's hypocrisy. But I suggest he was bringing out America's priorities. What do you mean, America's priorities, Vicky? He was making the point that the baby was involved, no matter the circumstance, whether it was justified or not. Obviously, that issue of self-defense came up in that situation. His point was, even though he was still involved in a murder of another black man, that didn't tank his career. What tanked his career, what affected his career, was the fact that he made a statement that offended some folk in the LGBTQ community, though he apologized, though he made it clear he didn't mean anything by it negatively towards them. But America, lily white America, has no problem with the fact that he murdered somebody. What I want you guys to see is that America elevates other groups to make them appear to be more victimized than us, to try to give this idea that we're we're both equal. We both deal with some form of discrimination or exclusion or some form of oppression or injustice, so that black folks don't stand out as we should, and so that others will be able to dilute the justice claims that we have, like reparations. Did you all catch that? Cecilia said, bring it out, Vicky. Did you guys catch that? The issue here today, which is why I started off the show by saying black folks, we're the sweetest, kindest people on the planet. We show respect to everybody. There are folks within our community that identify as part of LGBTQ community. My point to you is, you ain't more special than us. And your feelings ought not take precedent over our reparations and our justice claim. We'll get to you in a minute when you run us our trillions. Somebody say run us our coin. When you run us our coin, and when America ceases and desists from killing black people, then we'll get to you. We're not saying we're not going to get to you. We're saying you ain't the priority. Just like illegal immigrants ain't nobody's priority. White women shouldn't be the priority. And God knows her husband and her man shouldn't be. We're saying the priority. We're saying how all of these other, even certain white religious groups, if you even say some of the name, their horns, everybody's senses, everybody's ears perks up. Like you more special than us. There is nobody that has experienced the most inhumane treatment on the planet for longer than us. Nobody. So that's the reason why I have no respect for your black bones and biscuits that every time they talk, Cornel West and other slowness, when they go to talk about black and brown people, black, brown, LGBT, every time you all can't say black without throwing anything and anybody else in there. If you're LGBTQ and you're black, I don't need to distinctly identify your LGBTness, your LGBTQness. All that's important is your blackness. I'm saying we're the priority. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, share. Thumbs up, share. Thumbs up, share. Funny looking cell. Now let's get on to it. So the issue is what again, family? The issue that we're discussing today is the issue of priority. They're trying to dilute our black justice claims. They want black people to start feeling sorry for, feeling sympathetic and empathetic with other groups as if we ought to be talking about anybody but us right now. People who've been shot in the back and in the chest should not be sitting in the emergency room worrying about somebody who stubbed their toe and the toe black. So they in the emergency room to see about their black toe. Your black toe can turn blacker. People who've been shot, who have chest gunshot wounds, we don't care nothing about your missing nail. We don't care that you got a splinter. We don't care that you got a headache. We don't care that you got indigestion. We don't care that you got a cold. About not to care if you got that, you know what? God today. People who sit in the emergency room for heart attacks and strokes ain't studying your stub toe. Are you hurt? Yes. Does it rise to our level? Heck to the no. Should I be talking to you? No. You better go sit your funny looking self over there and go get you a Sprite and some Skittles and watch you some TV in the emergency room. That's what you better do. Get you some hand sanitizer. And go sit your funny looking self down somewhere. The fact that you even tell me that your toe stub, you stub your toe. And we sit over here dealing with loved ones that's got heart attacks and strokes is an embarrassment. You should feel like you trembling and that you coming before God because you are. The gods of the earth, ones with force and power, slowness. splinters, do they hurt? Yes. And people who missing a nail in the emergency room. Funny looking self. You about to get another issue if you come up in our face with that in this emergency room. We're gonna give them a reason to go see about you in about 5 minutes if you come talking to us again about your little stub toe, your missing nail. Seeing that you're in the emergency room and all, you keep talking to some of our people. Some of them, I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in that. But if you tell the wrong black person about that, they might give you a reason to be up in that emergency room. That's how I want you, black family, to see how they want us to talk about and defend and advocate for everybody else. Shut your mouth, bone and biscuit. Just hush. What was I going to talk about? I don't want to talk about, again, this is about how we've got to reckon with the fact that some of the very groups that are claiming to be the greatest victims, I'm not talking about just the LGBT, I just named some of the others, a certain white religious group who likes to attack Minister Farrakhan all the time, who attacked Nick Cannon. Don't even put the name in the chat. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We tiptoe around those individuals as if somehow they're more victimized than us, when we can trace that members of their religious communities were also responsible for our enslavement and also responsible for an extraordinary amount of injustice that black folk have experienced ever since. And even when our people say that we don't mean any harm, these individuals get preferences, and the media becomes more sensitive to appeasing them than they do black people. And the reason for that is black folk still talking about forgiving our enemies. Black people are responsible for allowing others to be prioritized over us. And I'm pointing out the fact that the very people that we're sitting here talking about are victims and saying that they experience stuff, and we're not discounting whatever you say your experience is. We're saying they don't rise to the level of us, and we are saying that we can prove that you too have been responsible for our oppression. And we need to have a come to Jesus moment. But the Jesus we're going to be dealing with is not your stringy head, blue-eyed one. It's going to be this black revolutionary one. Now let's get on with the get on. Watch this. Who is Ed Buck? Y'all, we already talked about him. That was that Democratic donor. I'm reading from NPR. This is from this summer, July 2021. Democratic donor Ed Buck is convicted in the deaths of two men who offered drugs for sex. A federal jury on Tuesday convicted a wealthy California political donor on charges he injected gay men with methamphetamine, in exchange for sex, leading to 2 deaths and overdoses. Ed Buck, 66, was found guilty on all 9 felony counts in federal court, which could lead to a life sentence. Now, family, it was we, the black grassroots, who first brought this to the public's attention, and we were calling out the Democrats for not calling out one of their financiers for the death of black men. Y'all see this? Scary looking optic terrorist, in addition to being a murderer. Okay. Now that's one. I've already addressed him. Let's move now into this David Geffen fellow. Now, Some of you came to know who David Geffen was. If you are following my show, it's because you've been watching me for the past couple of years or so, and I brought some of this information to light. And others of you found out about it when Oprah was celebrating her birthday, and she was sitting on his funny looking yacht. This guy named David Geffen. For those of you that don't know, one of the main reasons we give Oprah Winfrey this everlasting work, in part, is because of how she betrayed our brother Michael Jackson. Now, family, in addition to Oprah maligning Black people and Black men and pandering for the quarter century that she reigned as the queen of talk, pandering to her white zaddies, at the same time, while she was empowering white supremacy and her white zaddies, she was disrespecting Black men. Oprah is one of the first ones who used her platform to begin to push other people groups. She was the one that was pushing these alternative agendas even before it began to catch on like it has today. You all can thank Oprah for that. Oprah was one of the first ones who used her very large platform to push that. She was the one that was seeding her anti-Black male hate to her lily white stay-at-home mamas. Let's keep it above. Thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. Now, with that being said, one of the people that she's very good friends, very close friends with, we found out later were enemies of some of our most prominent Black brothers. I want to show you, and I'm not sure why it's taking forever to come up. Don't start playing. Do not start playing. Watch this. Watch this. David Geffen, and again, shout out to our Black scholars that first brought out some of this information that I began to share with my people some time back. This is David Geffen's funny looking self. Okay? You're saying, well, Vicky, who is that David Geffen fellow? Who is that David Geffen? His full name is David Lawrence Geffen, is an American business magnate, producer, and film studio executive. He co-created Asylum Records in 1971 with Elliot Roberts, Geffen Records in 1980, DGC Records in 1990, and DreamWorks SKG in 1994. He's a billionaire. Myron, be careful of the language that you use for these algorithms, okay? We can make our point, without using those words, because we already know that they like to unnecessarily target not just us, but also our chat. So make sure that you're careful on the language that you're using in the chat, family. We want to be on code. So now that you have a little bit of background of who he is and his access to Hollywood, he has a lot of access to Hollywood, a lot of access to white media. Those are things that they weaponize. Do you understand, family? You all know that whenever a lot of white men get involved in media, in Hollywood stuff, and in the music industry, in many, 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 many cases, if not most cases, we see Black exploitation and Black slavery on a whole other level. Talk Black to me. This fella is good buddies with Oprah. Just like how many of you all know Oprah was best buddies with Weinstein? How many of you all know Oprah, after she got busted being buddies with Weinstein and some of the most disgusting and most powerful white men who were involved allegedly in some of the most disgusting and dangerous sexual activity out there, like Weinstein. Oprah going later on come out and say that she used to feel bullied by Weinstein, and Weinstein used to make her bring on certain guests. Now it's your show, and you were already approaching billionaire status back then, sis. How you gonna sit there and say that a white man over yonder somewhere was bullying you? But she submitted to her zaddies while at the same time helping to destroy black men. Somebody talk black to me. Some of you all did not know that Oprah is best buddies with some of the most powerful and disgusting white men who are responsible based on information and belief. And I'm just taking the extra step with this David Geffen stuff by saying allegedly. Responsible for the destruction of black men and black people. David Geffen family, watch this article. Watch this article. This is a Vanity Fair article by Maureen Orth, O-R-T-H. This is for my intelligent black people. You're going to have to stay with me mentally today, family. Watch this. What does the title of this headline say? Can you all see this headline? What does it say? What does the title of this headline say, family? What does that headline say? Did y'all see it? Losing his grip. This is from 2003. Who are they talking about? Listen, I'm putting y'all up on game, and I keep trying to tell you the reason why they feel like that the new black media is so dangerous is because we recognize that the media is warfare, but some of you all don't know it, or you don't get how deeply these demons are. Watch this. It's first, listen. Does it get more bizarre than it's been getting lately? Apparently, yes. From Michael Jackson's increasingly freakish appearance to his voodoo death spells to the disturbing revelations in the $21.2 million civil lawsuit against him, the pop star's life has been spinning out of control. Investigating his spiraling debt, his grandiose schemes, and his controversial relationship with children, the author wonders if Jackson is as crazy as he seems, or a cool manipulator of his own fame. I'm taking a moment of silence because I don't know if you all understand that those first few sentences I read to you, they were firing white supremacist shots in the minds of the reader. And you guys wonder why Michael Jackson was under such attack, why they painted him as a nut. The reason why amongst black society, some of you actually thought that Michael Jackson was messing with little children. Even if you didn't officially believe it, the fact that you hesitated and scratched your head and called him a nut, you are part of the ones that were under their spell. Talk black to me. Listen to your sister with the curly braids. The very people that's trying to talk to you about what's going on in the world today have always been the everlasting liars. Did you all hear me? Why did I read you that headline? Because we're told that it was David Geffen that sent out the word to all of the major media apparatuses where he had access to begin to paint Michael Jackson as a nut. How many of you all remember when Michael Jackson, don't put the words in the chat, did that song where he was talking about a certain religious community, and he put their names in a song, and everybody signed off on the song that knew about the song privately. And we're told that his enemy made sure that the song was leaked, and that the press certain people in the press found out about it. So they started to talk about his song even before the song was officially out, because somebody leaked it, even though they had already approved it ahead of time. And they started to paint Michael Jackson as if he was anti-Semitic. How many of y'all remember that? See, some of you who are my babies that's listening to me, you may not know that. But the press called him anti-Semitic, even though some of Michael Jackson's closest friends were Jewish people. It wasn't by accident how all at one time they started to call him a nut, and they began to say he messes with little children. They were making that, trying to get you to believe that. And some of you funny looking Negroes are the first ones to sit there and say, well, I don't know if I leave my kids with him. And I say to you, who told you that, slowness? Watch this. I read you that headline for a reason. David Geffen, and be sure to take down the names of these receipts that I'm giving you. I said, be sure to take down the names of the receipts I'm giving you. I'm already dropping them, so make sure that you're paying attention. In a book entitled, I was actually trying to pull it up. Michael and Me, this writer by the name of Shana Mangatal, Mangatal. You can look at some of the excerpts. I think there are some audiobooks and stuff like that out there on it as well. Even though we cannot definitively say we stand by everything that's written in her book, family, there was one bit of insight. Again, shout out to our brother, Dr. Wesley. She pointed out a little bit of insight in her book. Be sure to pull up her name, pull up her information, and pull up the book. Here's a picture of her and Michael Jackson together. That's her. Okay? Again, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm standing by everything that was written in her book and her motives for the book and all that stuff. But she reveals one bit of insight in the book that she wrote about Michael Jackson. Guess what she revealed? She said that Michael Jackson, of course, a lot of folks knew that Michael Jackson had an enemies list, like 24, 25 people. And one of the top folks that was on his enemies list was this David Geffen, by the way. Michael Jackson said it was David Geffen that helped to destroy his career. Well, this lady, Shana Mangatal, stated that David Geffen, this gay media magnate, made a pass at Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson rebuffed his pass, because Michael made it clear, I don't go that way. I like women. How many of you all know it's okay and safe and all right to be heterosexual? It's okay for a black man to like just women. We don't demonize them because they don't want men or the opposite. They don't want the same sex. You're not oppressed because don't nobody want you. God today. That does not, you can't classify that as oppression. We ain't disrespecting nobody that's a part of our community. We love our people. But you don't get to say that's oppression. I'm the original woman. I'm going to tell you to sit your funny looking self down somewhere. That ain't oppression because people don't want you. That's you. So according to this lady, she said Michael Jackson revealed that David Geffen, his best boy, one of his best friends at the time, powerful white man, made a sexual pass at him. David Geffen is gay. Michael Jackson said, I may go with black women, white women, Hispanic women, Asian women, anything in between, but I don't do men. David Geffen didn't like that, according to her report that she said Michael Jackson told her. And because Michael rebuffed him, this very powerful billionaire was offended. He's known as being petty, and he used all of his access in the media to destroy Michael's career. Did you all hear what I just said? Talk black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. So that's also when they started to paint him as if he was a child molester. When they came at him to say his song was anti-Semitic, even though privately all of the top heads signed off on his song, when they started to all at once paint him as a sexual predator, y'all better pay attention. This was intentional. Allegedly. God, today. Even though my sources don't use allegedly. Vicky is being extra circumspect for myself as well as the networks and the affiliate networks I'm on. Talk black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Watch this. Now you understand when Okra and Kale set their funny-looking anti-black Aunt Jemima selves on that yacht for her birthday. Raise your hand, black family, because y'all know I've taught this so many times, so you really should know this answer. What movie was Oprah sitting on the yacht watching with David Geffen celebrating her birthday before she ended up doing an interview with Michael Jackson's fake, based on information and belief, accusers? What movie was Okra on the yacht watching with David Geffen celebrating her birthday, family? Thank you, Simo27, Leaving Neverland. Who celebrates their birthday doing that? Who watches that on their birthday? Why am I bringing that up? It stands to reason, and we believe, and we can intelligently, we believe, draw the conclusion that the reason Oprah agreed to do that interview with Michael Jackson's libelous accusers was because he dropped that in her to do on her birthday on his yacht. So what did Oprah do, family? Are y'all following me? She did the interview, and somebody say the black grassroots included, because it was mostly black people online. Who didn't give her the work was Joy Reid. Who didn't give her no work was Roland Martin. Who didn't give her no work was Donna Lemonade. Who didn't give her work was the Reverend Al Sharpton. Do you all understand why we keep calling them out? Because see, when it matters for your black media to hold another black sellout accountable, they're silent. We've been the ones shaping y'all's mind over the years and over time to recognize a snake and a wolf in sheep's clothing. When she did the interview, the after interview, after the documentary was out, interviewing who we all know was discredited. Legally, they were discredited. For those of you that don't know, thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. By the way, join my weekly mastermind at clubvicky.com for only $1. Make sure that you stay for at least a couple of months, family. Don't be cheap like that. Join clubvicky.com. Once a week, I drop spiritual jewels. I'm going to be doing it briefly tonight. You don't want to miss it. Join clubvicky.com. Clubvicky.com. The link is in the chat. Watch this. We immediately recognized that what Oprah did was treasonous and traitorous to Michael Jackson. First of all, for those of you that don't know, Michael Jackson won his very, 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 very long case. The jury came back not guilty. They looked at all of the evidence. They found there was none. But for some of you that don't know, that was on the state level. But the feds were also investigating Michael Jackson. And you all know they did that for over several years, and they came up with nothing. This was entirely contrived by the white media, and it worked. At least in the public sphere, that is, because there was a trial by media. And whenever you see black folks making fun of him and acting like he's a nut, you all know that their spells on you worked. Oprah started to whine after we found out she was doing that traitorous, backstabbing, anti-black interview. This is an article from USA Today from 2019. What does that headline say? What does this USA Today headline say? Let me just connect the dots. Y'all know that's what I do. It says Oprah Winfrey talks about the, quote, hateration she got over leaving Neverland special. Now, first of all, Oprah is nothing but an honorary white woman. So the fact that she uses the word hateration just is cringeworthy. It don't even sound genuine coming from her. She's saying hateration because she wants you to know it came and it's inspired by Negroes. Talk black to me. Listen to what her funny looking self said. She actually said this on the Daily Show with that guy, Trevor. But she made an interesting statement, but I'm going to tell you something later. She made a similar statement around the time she was doing the interview too. Watch this. Oprah Winfrey says she was subjected to extreme backlash after joining the Michael Jackson debate following the Leaving Neverland documentary. Now, black family, give yourself a round of applause in the chat. Put some black hand claps in the chat and give yourself a round of applause for giving Oprah Winfrey this everlasting work. See, we're the ones that helped to dethrone her. And to defrock her. The iconic talk show host and media mogul received praise and criticism after sitting down with Jackson's accusers for Oprah Winfrey Presents After Neverland. Now, what was she watching on her birthday, family? Whose yacht was she on? And what was she watching on the yacht, family? All of a sudden, after her birthday, she's out here doing Oprah Winfrey Presents After Neverland, which premiered immediately after the explosive documentary on HBO. Now listen to this quote. She says, "I haven't had that much hateration since I did the puppy episode with Ellen DeGeneres. Leaving Neverland." That's what she said. I read a couple of other articles looking for a quote that most of the articles did not include, but I heard her say during her interview. Guess what also she said? She said that she was going to be accused of taking down the black man. Oprah said that. I I always bring that one little bit out that the most media, white mainstream media, they put the word that she says hateration in there, but they don't put the other quote that she made in another setting where she said that she would be accused of taking down the black man. The reason why I emphasize this is because I wanted you to know she knew full well what she was doing. And she did it anyway to please her zaddy. Oprah said she knew she would be accused of quote unquote taking down a black man. Those were her words that she used in another setting concerning that HBO After Neverland interview she did. Do you all understand? So for those of you who think Oprah is the best thing since sliced bread, this is the reason why the Black Grassroots gives her that work also. She acknowledges it. She knew that and she was still willing to do it. What some of you also may not know is that Michael Jackson's family, buying through their estate, pleaded with her not to do it. And she did it anyway. Do you guys understand that? Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this. I'm reading you this piece, much of which I feel like has been confirmed and also stated by our brother, Dr. Wesley. This piece that was written by, it said it was posted by, rather, Vindicate MJ, and in parentheses, it says Helena. This was a piece that was put up on WordPress.com. Are y'all catching these receipts I'm giving you? What does this title say? Because I don't want you thinking I'm making this up. What does this headline from this particular piece said? Can you see it? Michael Jackson, David Geffen sank my career. It says, in the face of new slander campaign against Michael Jackson that's still going strong even after 10 years after his death, let us try to find out who is most probably behind it, who started it in the first place, and who was so much intent on ruining Michael Jackson's career, according to Michael himself. I'm skipping. The information that Michael Jackson, quote, hated Geffen is still available on the web. However, nothing is said about Geffen's hatred for Michael Jackson. But even if the required information is not easily accessible to us, there can't be any doubt that Geffen was indeed Michael Jackson's foe. I'm skipping. This Daily Beast reporter, which they quote, Nicole Laporte, says it like this about it. Geffen is famous for his decades-long and very ugly feuds. When I called a friend of Geffen's and asked him if he'd speak to me, I was met with a heavy silence on the other end of the line, and then a deep-throated growl. The last person who wrote a book about David Geffen is dead, and he was young and healthy, and now he's dead. Click. That's what the article says. We don't do allegations. I gave you receipts, and I'm quoting you word for word what this article says. Now it's up to you to do your research and to determine whether you believe it or not. But this is what the article says. I'm not giving my opinion on that one way or the other. Many of you probably heard of the so-called enemy list of Michael Jackson, which was mentioned in the media with a sneer and a chuckle, but no one ever explained why David Geffen was said to be on the top of that list. I got to skip because it's a very long article. Be sure to read it. I just gave you the name. I just told you where you can watch it or read it or get it. Forgive me. I said watch it. It says, however, despite all of the efforts, some traces of it still remain, and these traces explained to us that Michael Jackson hated David Geffen because a closely knit group of people in Hollywood headed by Geffen had sunk his career, and Michael was perfectly aware of it. Here is one of the pieces that contains this truly priceless information. Quote, Jackson reportedly hates Geffen for being a part of what he calls Hollywood's G Mafia. Fill in the blank, family, without putting a word in the chat. That's Michael Jackson's word. Even though it's perfectly fine to say, I'm still being extra careful, crossing my T's, dotting my I's, because y'all know the Vicky Show follows the rules. For some of you all that don't know that, this statement comes from a source. It says, you both know and don't know. You know it because it comes from the Vanity Fair article by Maureen Orth, O-R-T-H. I just read you a quote from Maureen, remember? That very salacious and diabolical first paragraph that I read you, that she was describing our brother, Michael Jackson. She was using very ugly language. Listen, that was from Vanity Fair, family. I said that article was from Vanity Fair that I first read you when I came on. Y'all got to connect the dots. That quote where it says that Michael Jackson specifically said they were part of the G Mafia that helped to sink his career. The reason this article says you know it because it comes from Vanity Fair article by Maureen Orth called Losing His Grip, published in the April 2003 issue of the magazine. Watch this, family. Though it was released a month earlier on March 3rd for some reason. And you don't know about it because since the initial publication, Maureen Orth has changed the text and removed this previous detail so it is no longer there on in the online version of the article. Take that in, what I just said. My point is, why was the LGBTQ community being protected in that instance when Michael Jackson's words that directly came from Michael Jackson about what he said was happening to him and who was behind it from a very premier magazine known as Vanity Fair? Why did they remove that line? Y'all don't play with me. Don't get my gavel banging twisted with my intelligent slowness. Your sister did not shake nations and Wall Street banks and entities and governmental officials because I'm a nut. I know what vibrations to move into depending on the environment I'm in. Your sister with the curly braids, talk black to me. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Register for the All Black National Convention coming up at the end of this month, the beginning of November. Register today, All Black National Convention. It says the Vanity Fair article must have been redacted almost immediately after its release, as Michael's reasons for hating Geffen were copied, pasted by a very limited number of media outlets, the traces of which remain in only 2 of them, in the New York Post and on a Fox News page, which functioned until recently, but it is no longer there and is now displaying a 404 sign. Somebody say media is warfare. In fact, if Michael's words hadn't remained in the New York Post, we wouldn't have learned that he ever said them and that they were part of the original Vanity Fair text. But you guys believe everything that your lily white media tells you? When they intentionally, selectively leave out certain information? They don't want you to be intelligent detectives, to pick up the clues and the hints. They don't want you to ever draw the right conclusion. For those of you that are saying, well, Vicky, why you bring up the Clintons earlier? Vicky, why did you bring up Barack Hussein Obama? Here's another receipt. The receipts are not just the article references. The purpose of me giving you the article references, it makes it easier for you to also have names of books and names of particular people who were given testimony to certain things for you to research later as well. Talk black to me. What's the name of this article, family? Because y'all know I got to give y'all white media outlets for you believe what we say to you. And then we have to go in and vet and connect the dots for you to get an understanding. What does this headline say? First of all, what's this article? Where's this article from? You see the F for Forbes? You see the Ford.com link? What does that headline say, family? Family, what does that headline say? That headlines from Forbes from 2007 says Geffen ignites Clinton-Obama feud. You're so welcome, beloved. It just said thank you for the daily scholarship. Y'all hear me? After re-entering the political circles with the star-studded fundraiser for Barack Obama this week, it didn't take long for David Geffen to join the political fray. I said after re-entering. Are y'all connecting the dots? After re-entering the political circles with a star-studded fundraiser for Barack Obama, who are they talking about? Re-entered the political circle. They were raising money for Barack Obama. Who are they talking about, family? It says David Geffen didn't take long to join the political fray. In fact, he became the central focus of the political news cycles on Wednesday. His sharp criticisms of Hillary Clinton and her husband in a New York Times column ignited a war of words between the campaigns of Obama and Clinton, bringing to a head long simmering rivalries for donors between the two superstars presidential contenders. So for those of you that's not catching up on this, David Geffen, this LBGT magnate, who Michael Jackson said was his top enemy on his enemies list, who is said and is reported to have allegedly made a gay pass at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson rebuffed him. This man was so petty and was so disgusted by being rebuffed that he allegedly went about destroying Michael Jackson's career, helped to paint him as a sexual child predator, made him look like he was a wacko and a nut, anti-Semitic, and did all these kinds of things. We're bringing up these elements of this community because we need them addressed, because how they adversely affect Black society, and I'm not through. For those of you that don't understand where I'm going with this, let me read some more before I go there. If I just drop this bomb on you. If you follow me long enough, you should know where I'm going, because I've been giving you all these receipts and I've been giving you all the heads up for a long time. You all know that when I'm dropping you spiritual insight that I get, I turn around and find you the best scholarship I can to verify and to confirm what I say. It also raised issues of just how responsible a campaign should be for the words that come from its donors, with the Clinton campaign calling on Obama to return the money he helped raise at the Beverly Hilton fundraiser, a hefty sum of $1.3 million. David Geffen was one of the top heavy donors for the Clintons, particularly Bill Clinton. He slept in the White House when Clinton was in office, for those of you that don't know that. I'm going to go further in just a minute, but let me give you some more information from this Forbes magazine, this news article. David Geffen called Hillary Clinton's husband, quote, a reckless guy. He says everybody in politics lies, but they do it with such ease. It's troubling. Watch this. And Geffen targeted Clinton for her 2002 vote, it says. I'm skipping now. But their close relationship, meaning David Geffen and the Clintons' relationship, it says, their close relationship soured by the end of Clinton's term, Bill Clinton, that is, culminating in a fallout over Clinton's pardon of Mark Rich and denying one to Leonard Peltier, whom Geffen was pushing for release. Are y'all hearing me? It says Geffen has seldom spoke to the Clintons since then. Watch this. To little surprise, some of Clinton's Hollywood supporters expressed dismay over Geffen's comments and characterized them as the resentments of a powerful mogul who didn't get his way. Why am I reading this to you? And let me fill in some dots. Thumbs up, family. For those of you that are tuning in, my name is Vicki Dillard. I'm usually here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, even though I've been coming at different times for the past couple of months. Just make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard to know what I'm doing, what I'm up to, when I'll be on because of my medical scheduling. Make sure you give us a big thumbs up, share this broadcast. And again, follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Now watch this. For those of you that don't know, David Geffen was buddies with the Clintons. He was so close, he slept in the White House, blah, 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 blah. How many of you all remember under the Clintons, Bill Clinton instituted this don't ask, don't tell, meaning those that were gay in the military were told not to ask, and then they're not supposed to tell whether or not they're gay. How many of you all remember that? How many of you all remember years ago it was under the Clinton administration where we came to know of this notion, don't ask, don't tell? How many of y'all remember that? I always have to say things because some of our youngsters may not know or remember. DBCU says, what an awesome broadcast, sis. You're lighting our A up with your knowledge this evening. Thank you, beloved. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Watch this. Y'all remember? For those of you that don't know, David Geffen, who is gay and a part of the LGBTQ community, wanted Bill Clinton to push for pro-gay legislation. Because Bill Clinton did not go all the way out to give him the legislation he wanted for the LGBTQ community, Bill Clinton settled for don't ask, don't tell, which was basically a neutral law. Don't tell if you're gay. Don't ask. He was mad at Bill Clinton. And that is what we believe, based on information and belief and other sources, is the real reason why he ended up turning as being one of the biggest donors of the Clintons. That's the only thing that also makes sense. And of course, plenty of receipts and other inferences that I don't have time to get into, but I've got to give you the details while I can. That's what ticked him off, because Bill Clinton wouldn't go all the way in for pro-gay legislation. He was mad at Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton settled with a neutral policy of don't ask, don't tell. Does that make sense? So some of you say, well, why did he ended up years later supporting Obama? Remember, I told you that he has a history, based on reports for people that know him, of being petty, notoriously petty. And he will go to all lengths to destroy people that offend him. He waited years later to punish Bill Clinton by using his wife's presidential campaign aspirations. How many of you all remember that when Barack Obama ran for office, who also was running for office? Hillary Clinton, right? Guess what happened? For those of you that don't know, David Geffen contacted Barack Obama, apparently after Obama gave that exciting speech during one of the Democratic conventions. Y'all remember that? When he was just a little senator over in the corner somewhere. David Geffen, this is the black media. Joy Reid ain't gonna tell you this. They don't care about connecting these dots. David Geffen contacted Barack Obama after that speech. Thank you, Marjorie. She said, you're amazing. Thank you. David Geffen contacted Obama after that speech as a senator, told him that he was going to run for the presidency. Obama laughed at him. Sometime later, Obama called him back, agreed to run. David Geffen put his money behind Barack Obama as retribution against the Clintons. That was his time to really get back at him. And as you can imagine, how many of you all remember that when Obama, how many of you all remember, I hope our moderators are looking at the chat for this webcamschat.com. Thank you, beloved. Y'all are on it. I see you. Watch this. How many of you all remember when Obama was running initially? Obama's early stance in politics. Let me put it that way. How many of you all remember that Obama's early stance in politics? Obama believed that marriage was between a man and a woman. How many of you all remember when that was Obama's original political position? I said, how many of you all remember in Obama's early political career, he said he believed that marriage was between a man and a woman? Now, who did I say told Obama he was going to run? Who did I say first told Obama his funny looking self was going to run and that they were going to put money behind him? Who contacted Barack Obama after hearing his electrifying speech and told him, you're going to run for president and I'm going to back you? Thank you, David Geffen. You can also look that up. David Geffen admitted that in an interview. Like I said, if you follow me long enough, you know I've given you all kinds of receipts that I pulled even independently of other research that I've learned. What happened under the Obama administration? Obama's career first said he believed marriage between a man and woman. How did the evolution of Obama pushing gay legislation that even Bill Clinton didn't push? Obama did what Bill Clinton didn't even do. Y'all remember this Newsweek article when they called Obama the first gay president? Are you connecting the dots now, family? As it relates to what, again, shout out to Dr. Wesley Muhammad, because this was Dr. Wesley Muhammad that alleges, I'm saying the word allege. I shouldn't put words in his mouth, but I'm being extra careful on these platforms. It was our brother, Dr. Wesley, that I remember seeding this notion that David Geffen was somehow involved in, allegedly, the murder of our brother Michael Jackson. And that black doctor, how many of you all remember? How many of you all remember I want to pull up his picture, Dr. Conrad Murray. I'm trying to find this picture. How many of you all remember this brother, Dr. Conrad Murray? How many of y'all remember his trial? Well, they screwed him in court and tried to blame this man for the murder of Michael Jackson. How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that they tried to, they got the black man legally hemmed up for the murder of Michael Jackson? How many of y'all remember that? Talk black to me. It says in 2010, Michael Jackson's personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, pleaded not guilty to involuntary manslaughter in the death of the pop star in the Los Angeles Superior Court. Y'all remember that? He was convicted in 2011 and served 2 years in prison. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember that? I'm reading now here. Which this is quite a bit from this particular article that talks about that doctors competed to give Michael Jackson painkillers. Ex-wife Debbie Rowe says, even if we didn't believe Miss Debbie Rowe, one of Michael Jackson's ex-wives, right? Are y'all hearing me? Even if we didn't, somebody just said they never get. I know that's right. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. I really wanted to show you this picture. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, share, share. Thumbs up, share, share, share. When she said, this part, I want you to read. This is interesting. This is different, but I want you to hear this little bit of insight, right? Are y'all hearing me? The key witness, the key defense witness in the manslaughter trial of Michael Jackson's doctor was held in contempt of court today during a tense cross-examination. Propofol expert and anesthesiologist Dr. White was fined $1,000 for violating the judge's order that he respond directly to questions during the prosecution's cross-examination. White was fined for referring to information he learned from Dr. Conrad Murray outside of the evidence presented in court. This is not allowed because it is seen as providing Murray a way to testify without being cross-examined. Y'all watch these devils. With the trial winding down, Murray said he and his lawyers are still trying to decide if Murray officially will take the stand in his own defense. Judge Michael Proctor told Murray at the end of today's court session that he has only until Tuesday morning to decide, okay? Now watch this. This is what I want to show you. I'm going to pull this part up. Hold on. Thumbs up, share, share, share. While they were waiting on on that decision, family. Hold on, I want to get this information to you. This is taking me a little longer than what I want to. Prosecutors in the trial of Dr. Conrad Murray will get their chance money to cross-examine the defense star witness, the anesthesiologist Paul White, at the trial in the final days. White testified Friday, y'all listen, that Michael Jackson probably caused his own death by injecting himself with a dose of propofol while his doctor wasn't looking. The defense expert also directly challenged the theory put forth by the government's main medical witness, Dr. Stephen Schaefer, who spent 5 days on the stand. Schaefer had said that the only plausible scenario was that Murray had let Jackson's IV drip the surgical anesthetic for 3 hours even after the pop star had stopped breathing. His testimony is the first evidence that defense had provided to support the theory that it was Jackson and not Murray who administered the drug that killed Jackson. What they're not telling you guys, family, is this. There was another white doctor that was giving Michael Jackson other drugs behind Dr. Conrad Murray's back. There was another white doctor who some say have connections to Geffen. A part of the defense's position was that the black doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray, he was going to show that there was this other white doctor that was giving Michael Jackson medicine behind his back. Are y'all hearing me? The judge denied him the right to do it. Did you all hear what I said? The judge denied him the right to do it. It is believed by some believe that one of these doctors, one of the names that's in the mix, he's really a dermatologist though, Dr. Klein. But some believe that it was a white doctor that went behind his back where Michael was getting this medicine because Michael was in so much pain that he gave Michael too much medicine. Some believe that some of that was intentional, and some also believe that it's interconnected to an insurance situation as well that had to do with who would ultimately also own some of Michael Jackson's music or his masters. Do your research. I'm going to leave that there. Did y'all catch that, family? Did you guys catch that? Allegedly, based on information and belief. These are extracurricular disclaimers I'm giving. Talk black to me. Thumbs up, share, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up. They like to just call him Dr. Michael Jackson's dermatologist. That's how he's always labeled, but he's not the only one, family, that was involved in that. Remember the initial article, which I didn't have time to read all of that, from Michael Jackson's ex-wife, says that there was a couple of doctors, white doctors, German doctors, she even, the headline rather, mentioned, that was fighting over giving Michael Jackson pain pills. Do you understand? So I want you to understand that there are other groups who are equally responsible for undermining our people. That's what I'm trying to get you all to understand. Does that make sense? And some of the very people that you guys want us to treat like the ultimate victims, we're trying to say are also some of them responsible for the victimization of black people. Talk black to me, family. Did you all hear what I just said? Some of the very people that you guys want us to treat like the ultimate victims are also individuals who are responsible for victimizing our people. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Are y'all hearing me? So I believe when you hear that Dr. Conrad ended up saying something along the lines of Michael ended up giving the other drug to himself, that would only make sense because he was denied bringing in the other culprit that he believed had something to do with Michael's death, his murder. Well, some are calling murder. Does that make sense? Now, if I'm going to go with this particular Reuters article, the headline says Michael Jackson's doctor says others gave him propofol. Michael Jackson's personal physician told investigators he was not the first doctor to give the pop star propofol, the powerful anesthetic that was one of the drugs to cause his death, according to the court papers. Are y'all hearing me? Murray, a heart specialist with offices in Houston and Las Vegas, was hired to care for Jackson while the singer prepared for a series of comeback concerts in the weeks before his sudden death in Los Angeles. I'm skipping. The Los Angeles County coroner has ruled the death a homicide by overdose, determining that propofol and the sedative lorazepam were the main drugs that caused his death. Murray previously had identified as the target of a manslaughter probe, but Los Angeles prosecutors are still determining whether to seek criminal charges, which we know they sought criminal charges against the black man. The latest affidavit, though, are y'all listening? Was filed in support of a search warrant carried out in August in Las Vegas, pharmaceutical supply office where Murray bought propofol and other drugs later found in the singer's body, the affidavit states. Murray has admitted giving Michael 25 milligram dose of propofol the morning he died, according to police records. Murray told police he worried Jackson was addicted to propofol and was trying to wean him off the drug with smaller doses. Okay? Jackson mentioned, are y'all hearing me now? Jackson mentioned two other doctors, his longtime dermatologist, I already mentioned him, Dr. Arnold Klein, and previous personal physician, Alan Metzger, had given him, that's a quote, had given him medicine and that it wasn't working. It also says that Murray arranged at Jackson's request for another doctor in Las Vegas identified as David Adams to give the singer propofol, which he did in Murray's presence in a third-party cosmetologist's office. The document also states that bottles of propofol were found in Murray's doctor's bag and on the bedside table of Jackson's home after his death. I was only reading you this Reuters article with this headline from 2009 that said Michael Jackson's doctor says others gave him propofol because it was his contention. He wanted the courts to know that he was the official doctor of Michael Jackson. He knew what he was giving him. He was being responsible, but others was basically coming behind his back and was also giving him medicine. Are y'all understanding me? I'm wanting the LGBTQ community to deal with your own. Even Don Lemonade, who is a black gay man on CNN, married, engaged to, I don't know if he's officially married yet, but I think the man asked him to marry, engaged to a white man. Even Don Lemon talked about racism within the LGBTQ community. I'm just trying to let you all know that with this Dave Chappelle piece, him breaking down the fact that the baby actually was responsible for the death of someone by gunshot, and that didn't destroy his career. I wasn't there for the situation. I know there's some controversy, but if he's saying it was self-defense, and if whatever the situation was, we don't know all the details, but he claims self-defense. And if it's self-defense, and if it's truly self-defense, that would make sense. But our point is, if the murder of another man, another brother, doesn't sink his career, but the LGBTQ community offended by a statement that he made that he quickly apologized for, we're just trying to see, how do these other groups take precedent over Black people? And we're showing you that others feel like Black folks' death and murder is not that big of a deal to be all getting your panties in a bunch over. But if you offend other communities, even though you ain't trying to, even though y'all be out there apologizing, Nick Cannon, giving money to them, going to their museums. I'm not talking about the LGBTQ community now. I'm talking about when the rabbis and all the other folks call him anti-Semitic, and all those folks in their community was calling him anti-Semitic. Think about that. Y'all better quickly remind them that we're the only people on the planet that have dealt with the worst form of inhumane treatment than anybody else for longer than anybody else, and we've not been repaired, and y'all have not ceased to oppress us. Let me get ready to go, fam. I got my mastermind class coming up very, very briefly tonight. If you want to join today for only $1, clubvicky.com. Make sure you stay for a few months to stay with us. Don't have me there giving you all these powerful jewels and you're too cheap to just come there and just, get some information and exploit my amazing intergalactic gems only to get in and out. Somebody talk Black to me. We have a powerful, growing family. This is an actual movement. So make sure that you join us, family. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky. I can't wait to see you again. I bow to you. I'm your sister with the curly braids. I cannot wait to see you again.